More than 5 decades after the final Apollo mission, NASA is preparing to send humans back toward the moon with its Artemis II mission, marking a historic return to deep space exploration. Scheduled for April 2026, this mission represents the first time since 1972 that astronauts will travel beyond low Earth orbit and venture into the lunar environment. Unlike the Apollo missions, which were driven largely by Cold War competition, Artemis is positioned as a long-term scientific and exploratory program aimed at establishing a sustained human presence beyond Earth. Artemis II will not attempt a landing. Instead, it will carry a crew of 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon and back to Earth, testing critical systems required for future missions. The flight is expected to last about 10 days and will use NASA's Orion spacecraft, launched atop the Space Launch System rocket, the most powerful rocket currently developed by the agency. This mission follows the successful uncrewed Artemis I test flight conducted in 2022, which validated the basic performance of the rocket and spacecraft systems. Artemis II builds on that foundation by introducing human presence into the system, significantly raising the stakes and complexity. The mission is designed to demonstrate that life support, navigation, communication, and safety systems function reliably in the harsh conditions of deep space. It also serves as a symbolic milestone, signaling the United States' renewed commitment to human space exploration beyond Earth orbit. The Artemis program is not just about repeating past achievements, but extending them, with the goal of creating a sustainable framework for exploration. By returning humans to the vicinity of the moon, NASA aims to lay the groundwork for future missions that will include landing astronauts on the lunar surface and eventually preparing for missions to Mars. Artemis II stands as a critical step in this broader vision, bridging the gap between past exploration and future ambitions while demonstrating that human spaceflight capabilities have evolved significantly since the Apollo era. Artemis II is structured as a carefully planned test mission designed to evaluate every major system required for human spaceflight beyond Earth orbit. The mission will carry 4 astronauts, consisting of 3 from the United States and 1 from Canada, highlighting the international collaboration that defines the Artemis program. After launch aboard the Space Launch System rocket, the Orion spacecraft will first enter Earth orbit, where initial system checks will be conducted to ensure all onboard systems are functioning correctly. Once these checks are completed, the spacecraft will perform a translunar injection burn, propelling it out of Earth's orbit and onto a trajectory toward the moon. The mission will follow a free return trajectory, a path that naturally loops around the moon and brings the spacecraft back to Earth without requiring major propulsion adjustments, providing an additional layer of safety. During the journey, astronauts will test navigation systems, communication links with Earth, and onboard life support systems that regulate oxygen, temperature, and waste management. These systems are critical for long-duration missions and must operate flawlessly in the vacuum of space. As the spacecraft approaches the moon, it will conduct a close flyby, allowing astronauts to observe the lunar surface while also testing the spacecraft's performance in the moon's gravitational environment. No landing will occur during this mission, but the data collected will be essential for planning future landings. After completing the lunar flyby, the spacecraft will begin its return journey to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at extremely high speeds. One of the key objectives during this phase is to test the Orion capsule's heat shield, which must withstand temperatures of nearly 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit during re-entry. The mission will conclude with a splashdown in the ocean, where recovery teams will retrieve the crew and spacecraft. Every phase of Artemis II is designed to validate the systems that will be used in future missions, making it a crucial stepping stone in NASA's exploration roadmap. The primary objective of Artemis II is to verify that all critical systems required for human survival and mission success operate effectively in deep space conditions. Unlike missions conducted in low Earth orbit, such as those to the International Space Station, Artemis II will expose astronauts and spacecraft systems to higher levels of radiation, greater distances from Earth, and limited opportunities for immediate rescue or support. One of the most important aspects of the mission is the validation of life support systems. which must maintain a stable environment for the crew over the entire duration of the mission. These systems include oxygen supply, carbon dioxide removal, temperature control, and water management. Additionally, the mission will test advanced navigation and guidance systems that enable the spacecraft to travel accurately over vast distances. Communication systems will also be evaluated, ensuring that data and voice transmissions between the spacecraft and mission control remain reliable despite the increased distance from Earth. Another critical component is the performance of the Orion spacecraft's heat shield during reentry. This heat shield is designed to protect the spacecraft and its occupants from the intense heat generated as it re-enters Earth's atmosphere at speeds exceeding those of previous missions returning from low Earth orbit. The success of this system is essential for ensuring the safety of astronauts on future missions. Artemis II will also provide valuable data on human performance in deep space, including how astronauts adapt physically and psychologically to extended periods beyond Earth's protective magnetic field. These insights will be crucial for planning longer missions, including those to Mars. By testing these systems under real mission conditions, NASA aims to reduce risks and ensure that future missions can be conducted safely and efficiently. Artemis II is therefore not just a demonstration mission, but a comprehensive validation of the technologies and procedures required for the next era of human space exploration. The Artemis program represents a significant financial investment by the United States, with total costs estimated at approximately $93 billion since its inception in 2012. This substantial expenditure reflects the complexity and scale of developing new spacecraft, launch systems, and supporting infrastructure required for deep space exploration. Artemis II is a key component of this investment, serving as a necessary step toward achieving the program's long-term objectives. However, the high cost of the program has raised questions about sustainability and the role of government funding in supporting space exploration. While NASA is leading the Artemis program, it also relies on partnerships with private companies and international space agencies to share costs and expertise. This collaborative approach is intended to create a more sustainable model for exploration, but it also introduces additional challenges in coordination and execution. Beyond financial considerations, Artemis II is part of a broader strategic effort to maintain leadership in space exploration. The mission comes at a time when other countries, including China, are advancing their own lunar exploration programs, with plans to send humans to the moon in the coming years. This has led to comparisons with the original space race, although the current competition is more focused on long-term presence and resource utilization rather than symbolic achievements. The Artemis program aims to establish a framework for sustained exploration, including the development of infrastructure such as lunar bases and orbital stations. These efforts are intended to support scientific research, technological development, and potential commercial activities on and around the moon. Artemis II plays a crucial role in this strategy by demonstrating that the systems required for human exploration are ready for operational use. Its success will help justify the continued investment in the program and strengthen the United States' position in the evolving landscape of global space exploration. Artemis II is not an endpoint, but a transitional mission that will enable more ambitious objectives in the years ahead. If successful, it will pave the way for Artemis III, which is expected to attempt a crewed landing on the lunar surface later in the decade. This future mission aims to land astronauts near the moon's south pole, a region of particular interest due to the presence of water ice, which could be used to support long-term human habitation and fuel production. Beyond Artemis III, NASA envisions a series of missions that will establish a sustained human presence on the moon, including the construction of habitats and the development of technologies for living and working in a harsh extraterrestrial environment. These efforts are seen as essential steps toward the ultimate goal of sending humans to Mars. The moon serves as a testing ground where technologies and operational concepts can be validated before undertaking longer and more complex missions to the Red Planet. Artemis II will provide critical data that informs these future plans, reducing uncertainties and improving mission design. It also represents a shift in how space exploration is conducted, with greater emphasis on international cooperation and commercial partnerships. By involving multiple countries and private companies, the Artemis program aims to create a more inclusive and sustainable approach to exploration. The mission also carries symbolic significance, inspiring a new generation of scientists, engineers, and explorers while demonstrating the continued potential of human spaceflight. As humanity prepares to extend its presence beyond Earth, Artemis II stands as a crucial milestone in that journey, bridging the gap between past achievements and future possibilities while reaffirming the importance of exploration in advancing knowledge and capability.